A panicked call comes in for Sharon, and Devon finds out the truth about Victoria, television's Young and Restless. On today's episode of The Young and the Restless, Billy calls Sharon, Abby confronts Chance, and Devon publicly humiliates Victoria. Adam informs Lily he located Chelsea at Noah's club. If Billy was there, she wants to know. In Adam's account, Chelsea became visibly unhappy while they were up on the roof. What Billy actually said to her is unknown. Lily feels confident in his sensitivity. Adam still isn't convinced, and he gripes that Billy made him go too quickly. Adam feels he has a right to know the source of her distress. After not hearing from Billy, Lily is at a loss as to his expectations. Adam probes for information on possible whereabouts. To be honest, Lily has no idea and wouldn't tell him even if she did because she doesn't have faith in him. Adam tells the mother of his child that they are not conducting business. After realizing she can't help, Lily leaves. When Chelsea arrives at her suite, Billy helps her to the couch and removes her boots. She looks on as he takes her phone out of her purse and says that he's going to mute it, unless there's someone he needs to talk to. Clearly, Chelsea does not agree. After work, Billy proposes going for a drive or having some dinner. She doesn't care about either of them and asks that he just leave her alone. "Please release me, Billy. Please release me." Chance, exhausted, drinks coffee on the patio at Crimson Lights while rubbing his temples. Abby suddenly appears, notices him, and walks over. Chance says he's just chilling out. Then she inquires, "What about the stakeout?" Chance clarifies why they wrapped up early. With a sniff, Abby asks, "And you choose to come here instead of going home?" Victoria discusses Nate's perks with him at the society. He needs to know where he can park, ideally close to the elevator. The situation can be arranged by Victoria. As Devon enters the room, the woman announces, "Congratulations, you are now CEO of Newman Media." They raise a glass to Nate and wish him luck in his new role. To which Devon replies, "You have got to be kidding me." Chelsea is furious with Billy for stopping her on the roof, and he refuses to leave her suite. "You were completely wrong. She's in agony, she knows how to stop, and he stole her agency. It's not a decision she would have made 2 weeks ago, or 2 weeks from now, and Billy is well aware of this. He will not have her hurt herself or their son in that way, so she will have to find a way to cope." Chelsea sobs because she feels like she can't keep her head above water, and she doesn't know what to do. There is no amount of time that will make this better. It's an idea Billy doesn't buy into. A frustrated Chelsea finally blurts out, "Why are you here?" Even though Billy is at a loss for how to proceed, he has decided to remain in his current location. "I keep hearing voices," Chelsea moans. He probes whether or not she is being directed by them. Chelsea claims these are recollections of people like him who reminded her of her shortcomings. She remembers him stating the kiss was a mistake, which she interprets as him telling her she is a mistake. Billy disagrees and believes there should be no hard feelings over anything. She has a lot to live for, not the least of which is Connor. When asked to reveal the identity of the man in question, Chelsea objects, "Don't say his name. As far as she's concerned, Connor and Johnny are better off without her. I've been a bad influence on the world, and now everyone is better off without me." Billy begs her to stop saying it. The doorbell rings at that moment and Adam calls her name. Chance tells his wife he was just enjoying some quiet time to himself on the patio of the coffee shop. "And you don't get quiet time at our house?" Abby asks. Chance is at a loss for words. He was simply not ready to return home. She finally speaks up, "Chance, what is happening with us?" A worried Adam keeps banging on Chelsea's door and asking, "Chelsea, will you just let me know that you're okay?" There is radio silence coming from Billy and Chelsea. When Billy's phone rings, it's Adam asking if he can talk to him and whether Chelsea is okay. Adam later texts Billy to see if he's with Chelsea. Billy points out the door and tells Chelsea, "Everyone can just stay on the other side of that door. Currently, she is the only thing that matters." There are good times and bad times in any relationship, Chance informs Abby at Crimson Lights. She is unsure if they are at the bottom or in the center of things. What Chance knows, no one can say. They talk about how his work prevented them from celebrating Halloween together. She didn't explode in anger, but she was obviously distressed, Chance reflects. No matter how unhappy she was, Abby still loves him very much. Chance's love for her hasn't diminished in the least. They get along well until he needs to work, and then things tend to deteriorate. Abby always manages to find a way to remind him how often she laments about having to rush off and be super cop. Chance assumes she harbors resentment toward him because he is unable to prioritize their relationship above his professional responsibilities. Abby sneers, resentful. She gets up and says she's leaving, but he wants to talk things through rather than pretend it never happened. Devon at Society is astonished to learn that Victoria is interested in hiring someone like Nate. He assumes this is the price he has to pay for his actions. After all, it's blindingly evident that she's the person with whom his cousin has been plotting. Billy double-checks the hallway outside Chelsea's room to make sure Adam has left. Probably, says Chelsea. Billy doesn't give a damn what Adam thinks of him. After a short break, Chelsea and Billy are back to talking about her hearing voices. Billy tells her she doesn't have to listen to them and describes how he eventually learned to turn it off whenever Delia showed up. Talking to someone helped, he realized. Chelsea tells Billy to leave since she doesn't feel like chatting to Chloe or Anita and instead would rather sleep. To which Billy agrees and proceeds to tuck her into bed. He goes to the edge of the bed and sits there in despair. Victoria acts innocent at Society because she has no idea what she is being accused of by Devon. Then Devon will make it crystal apparent that she is the CEO to whom Nate planned to sell his shares. His reasoning is lost on Victoria. He assumes she'd hire him for a doomed plan. Nate does not believe it makes a difference who did it because he was forthright about the situation prior to it occurring, and Chancellor Winters was not compromised. Devon feels he has harmed his loved ones. He can't believe he mistook it for Tucker and never considered it a Newman. Devon calls Victoria out for her ambitions to take over the business Neil has left behind. That's how you remember him? Abby insists at Crimson Lights that she has no animosity toward Chance's work. She has made extraordinary efforts to respond to his duty call. She goes on a tirade about how she cried herself to sleep when he disappeared in Spain. After everything that had happened, she still supported his desire to rejoin the police department. She isn't being truthful with Chance or herself about whether or not she made an effort to accept it. Abby feels insulted. As far as Chance is concerned, they should be honest about what's going on. He cares deeply for her, but animosity on both their parts is growing. They reminisce about the time when they were on opposing sides, and she was counting on him to defend her father. According to Chance, she is looking for a perfect man, not a flawed one. With a shock, Abby asks, "Where is this coming from?" Chance believes she would enjoy being married to a federal agent or police officer in theory but not in practice. She gets angry every time the subject is brought up. Abby is frustrated that he isn't allowed to express his feelings to her, and despite Chance's protests, she leaves. Victoria promises the group at Society that she would never do anything to dishonor Neil's memory. Devon considers it extremely disrespectful that his firm is being dismantled from the inside out. She assures Devon that if she were to engage in the behavior he accuses her of, Neil would understand that it was just professional and not motivated by any desire to hurt him. Devon rebuts by asking how it is not personal because she had Nate lie to his loved ones. Is there any chance Neil would have tried something like that against your dad when he was employed at Newman? It's obvious that he wouldn't do it. Victoria agrees that this is the case, but she and Devon owe no professional obligations to one another. For this reason, Nate has requested that Devon refrain from involving Victoria. To Nate's face, Devon says he'll never forgive him. In order to forgive himself, Nate must find new meaning in the world. That he is no longer associated with Chancellor Winters is, in Victoria's opinion, for the best. Victoria is warned by Devon that she must keep an eye on her back because he is unfaithful. There is always the chance that Nate will decide that being CEO of Newman Media isn't enough and will go after her position. And with that, I wish you the best of luck. After making sure Chelsea is sound asleep in her room, Billy leaves to answer a call. When Sharon sees how much Chance seemed to be craving pastries, she takes him one at Crimson Lights. And at that very moment she gets a call from Billy. It's late and she's worried about how things are. As Billy explains, however, it's actually Chelsea. Something has happened, and he doesn't know what to do about it. He requests that she visit Chelsea's suite in complete secrecy. As she hangs up, Adam steps in and leaves another message for Chelsea, pleading with her to give him a call and reassure him that she's fine. If Chelsea and Billy Abbott pass through tonight, he wants to know if Sharon has seen them. Sharon disapproves. Adam is concerned that Billy is to blame for whatever occurred with Chelsea. Sharon assures him everything is fine and reminds him Chelsea is resilient. Adam hopes she'll contact him back soon. As Connor's mother, she should not be so difficult to reach. Sharon is in a hurry since she needs to leave. Nate offers his condolences for his cousin to his peers at the society meeting. Victoria acknowledges his pain and decides it's for the best that he be aware of it. Nate is skeptical that the issue has been resolved. Victoria claims she has no remorse over hiring him because it is for them. As a result, he feels some relief. Devon follows them out the door while grinning. Abby had an emotional breakdown behind the bar as he pulls out his phone and dials Amanda's number. Devon stands forward and says, "Abby, what seems to be the problem?" Lily takes a call from Billy in her office, and he says it's lovely to hear her voice. She is shocked that he abandoned her at the club and worries about her safety. When asked if he is serious, he replies, "Not really." After witnessing Adam's interaction with Chelsea, Lily reports that he seems concerned and wonders if she should share his worries, to which Billy sighs and responds, "Not in the way you're thinking." Billy reports that Chelsea is in a terrible mood after an incident tonight. The two of them will remain together until she receives medical attention. A concerned Lily demands, "What's going on?" It's unclear to Billy, but he thinks Sharon is on her way. Whenever he gets a chance, he'll give her a call. When Sharon comes to find Billy outside the suite, she asks, "What happened?" According to Billy, Chelsea was on the roof and about to leap. Even though he brought her to the ground safely, she still doesn't like him. She was trying to kill herself, Sharon. Sharon had been in therapy before, but she had no idea it would come to this. Since she still has strong feelings of wanting to end it all, Billy can only hope she has figured out what the heck to do by now. Devon finds out that Abby and Chance butted heads at society. He's certain that they can resolve their differences and move on. Abby thinks it was really important and is concerned that what Chance mentioned about their relationship could be accurate. Devon coaxes a grin out of her and gives her a hug. Billy checks in at Chelsea's suite and reports to Sharon that Chelsea is still asleep. Perhaps drink or drugs played a role, Sharon thinks. Billy speculates that she may have consumed alcohol throughout the meal. They need to get him into a facility, Sharon says him. "We're going to have to work at it," Billy says. Sharon assures Billy of her sincere appreciation for his role as a friend. Right now, getting her under the care of experts is the most effective course of action. "Is he okay?" she inquires. As Billy waited for the ambulance the night Delia passed away, he cradled her in his arms. He could only embrace her and reassure her that everything was going to be all right, even though he knew she wouldn't survive. "I felt the same way tonight. If you ask Sharon, he handled it beautifully." Billy lost his daughter and could do nothing to save her. Not under his watch will he allow Chelsea to suffer the same fate. In that case, Chelsea yells for Billy, who promptly enters the room carrying Sharon. He is praying that Chelsea will comprehend his need for assistance. Sharon says she wants to teach her to appreciate the affection of those around her. "Believe me. Also, if you don't believe me, put your faith in Ray. He recognized her potential and gave her another chance. Don't toss that out. Chelsea will get some assistance from her and Billy in her quest for information. If you'll allow us to assist you, that is." There is a confirmation nod from Chelsea.